What is up, my honeys? It is KingBritneyChanel, and I am back with yet another video. If you like my commentary and you know me bringing the honey for the tea, okay, definitely make sure you like, comment, and subscribe and share my videos, okay? So in today's video, y'all, we are going to be talking about men becoming very kind of emotionally fragile. We're gonna get into all of that, where I think it comes from, all of that good stuff. And before y'all, let me put the disclaimer out. This does not apply to all men. When I say men, I'm just using like males or the state of men at this time, okay? Of course, we know it's individuals that are not gonna fall under what I'm about to say, but I'm gonna get into my examples for the video, which is gonna be the trouble situation, the rapper trouble situation, and this situation with the young lady that went on to the glory, that worked at Walgreens, all of that stuff. We're gonna talk about it in this video. Go ahead, thumbs up the video. Let's get started. Like, comment, share the video. Let's get started. All right, y'all, so let's state the house rules. As for me and my house, I serve the Most High Yah, so my perspective is gonna be the honey. Think about the sweet things, the promises of Yah, and sweetening up life's bitter tea. It's bitter situations. So I'm always gonna put my cultural spin on anything I talk about on this channel. Now, I wanted to talk about a couple of y'all got in my comment section. Also, y'all hit me up on Instagram and y'all wanted me to talk about the rapper trouble and all that other stuff. I put like on my story a brief little synopsis of what they were saying happens to the young man. I'm also going to talk about this situation with the young lady who denied the advances of her co-worker at the Walgreens, and unfortunately she went on to the glory. We're going to get into that. And why do I have to talk about these things? Well, let's talk about the rapper trouble, right? Dude, in the world sense, right? People thought he was prosperous. He's a rapper. He's mingling with all these other influential people. And we have to talk about what he decided to name himself, because this goes into the states of where a lot of these I'm really more so I'm speaking to just the state of men in general, but this could be really applied to Israelite men or so-called black men. Y'all know how I am about that black word. Black is a status, it's not an ethnicity. Boom. So now that we got that out the way, because it's gonna be some finicky people, but I don't care. Like, if you still calling yourself black in 2022, it's time to get studying, because you clearly don't understand the what you call it, the agenda behind that. Okay. And I have to state these things. A lot of people, y'all have a lot of questions about me also being Israelite. We'll get into that. Okay. So why is this important? Your names are important. Okay. Your names in the Torah, even if you were named something that was off, like we seen this in certain situations, like grandfather Yaakov, he was renamed Israel, like one who contends or wrestles with the Most High Yah, right? Or I'm gonna give you an example. Me being named female sheep of Yah, right? Also named after what linked me back to my tribe in Nigeria, Africa, all of that good stuff, but also my Israelite tribe, right? So when the Most High Yah has you be named something, it is to also my name means innocent, like innocent sheep of Yah, right? So for those of you who know my Hebrew name, but it was actually what I was named. Like before I came into the truth, the Most High had my mother name me in the way that I was to go. She had no idea of that, but I learned the importance of names very quickly. Okay, so this is why when you name your children stuff that's off, or you name yourself something that's off, you can expect that that's they're going to live up to that name. Names are very important. So why do I have to go over that? Well, look at the state of men. And men, as I said, this is the second disclaimer. I am not referring to all men that don't fit the mold of what I'm talking about, but we're not going to pretend like it's not a whole agenda to keep these men in a young youth, jovial youth type of state where they never ascend to manhood. What is that called psychologically? Well, let's talk about it. It's called infantilism, childish behavior. Psychology, the persistence of infantile characteristics or behavior in adult life. When you see the state of our Israelite brothers in the Western world, because a lot of men that are in those other places, they reach adulthood very quick, right? Because you kind of have to, the way life is set up. But here, they are taught to stay a boy. How do we know this, right? Look at the names of these rappers. Let's look it up. Because you want me to prove this to you? Why are all the rappers named Young, Boy, Baby, The Baby, Lil Durk, Lil Wayne, Young M.A., NBA Young Boy? All this stuff is to keep you in a mental state of not growing up. The Torah says, when I was a child, I thought as a child. And when you become a man, what? You got to think of things to reach adulthood, to ascend into your divine role as a man. But they don't do that here. No, they don't do that here. Let's look at the list. And you don't want to believe me? Let's look at the list of rappers. List of rappers. Because we got to talk about this since we talk about the trouble situation. Rappers with the name Little. And I'm going to go over, and you think I'm playing. Lil Wayne, Lil Uzi Vert, Lil Baby, Lil Yachty, Lil Pump, Lil Kim, Lil Durk, Lil Peep, Lil Xan, Lil Skies, Lil Dicky, Lil Jon, Lil Bow Wow, Lil B, Lil Tecca, Lil Scrappy, Lil Mosey, Lil TJ, Lil Boosie, Lil White, Lil Bibby, Lil Mama, Lil Troy, Lil Key. Honey, it's a whole, it's more. Trust. Okay? All these folks. So you don't think that that's something, you don't, and Dr. Umar and Fatul days, you don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that? Let's look up the rappers with the name Young. Because I could think of Young Thug. Okay? Young Thug. Young Boy. Young Jeezy. Young Buck. Young Dro, Young Jock, all these people that have Young on their name. Like I told you, NBA Young Boy. So it's clear that this mindset is to keep these men coddled in coddlement state, right? And why do we have to talk about this? Because in the rapper trouble situation, he named himself Trouble and found himself in trouble. Because at a certain point, I'm going to tell you this, and this is just me being real. At a certain age, I should not see you with the blicky and the rest of that posted up in pictures and stuff. And you got kids, man. You got kids. I should not see that. You should be ascending into manhood, buying property, getting a wife. Getting a wife, honey, you obtain favor from the Most High Yah. And it keeps you out of this foolala of this stupidity, because it's like you see men, they're well into their 30s, I mean their late 20s, and you like, when you gonna grow up, when you gonna mature mentally and stop trying to become a rapper? Because we have seen time and time again from Young Thug and that bugged out foolishness he had going on, where they took all of them to the jam. Even with, several situations, even with this rapper trouble situation, right? Found himself in trouble. Okay, living a lascivious life. He links himself up with a young lady who she was in a relationship with a guy, and it was reckless of her, from what the reports were saying, that she invited Trouble over to her home, right? So you invite a man named Trouble over to your home. And the guy she was dealing with, she had broken up with, but I think they had shared the place they were at. Or, a lot of the times these females have a dude living with them. And so she broke it off with him. He could not face rejection. Here's the coddlement of westernization, right? This is the emotional fragile state of these men. I'm telling you, I got to keep it real with y'all. The fragile state where you could not take rejection. Where do we see this at? These men, and I already told y'all about the Jezebel spirits, right? I told y'all about the Jezebel spirit, and where I told y'all where it originated from. It originated from the enemy, right? So in the Shamayim, he was originally very beautiful, minister of music, all of that. Y'all know Hashatan, him. Originally minister of music, all of that, right? He started looking at himself like, I could do it better than the Most High. He was bugging. Because anybody with a logical mindset would be like, sir, you were not there when the foundations and all that was good. You know how the Most High check you. Was you there? You must have been there with me when I was building the foundations. Oh, okay. So a person in a right spiritual equilibrium would never have a thought process that even pop up in their mind where you trying to equate yourself to the Most High and you in your mind think that you could go up against him. You're definitely off, right? So the person that know all your thoughts, the person that has created everything, you think you going up against this person. That is the spirit of narcissism. What the world would call the Jezebel spirit. It seeks to control. It is very attention hungry. The enemy was the first Jezebel. You just hear about Jezebel being infamous because a lot of men, they like to try to place that onto women. And it's just, no, it's not even a woman or a man type of thing. The fallen ones, like I said, they could if you looked at the movie with Denzel about the book of Enoch, I believe, it shows you how they can jump a person. They need a vessel, the law of territories, to exist in this realm in which we live in. So that's, if you're not there, then you're not meant to receive what I'm telling y'all, because the mysteries of the Shamayim, they're gifts for the children of the Most High Yah to have an understanding of that. So what I'm telling you, even if you in a world where you could kind of comprehend what I'm saying, it's probably the message is for you. That narcissism or that ego-centeredness, that was from the enemy, basically, right? So we see a large population of what the world would call that demonic spirit of narcissism in our men. The childlike state of being egocentric, where it's like you don't get your way and you just start going ham in a tantrum. You start throwing tantrums. You feel entitled. You're all about into self, right? So what do we see? We see this in our culture, and it's like a lot of people, they put that Jezebel spirit on women, but that narcissist spirit, I think they say 7% of narcissists are men, which the number for women, I think they said, is 4%. So it's not to say that it's not in women, but it's very prevalent in men. Look it up yourself, okay? But the reason how this ties back to the trouble situation is because the young lady, when she told the man that she was dealing with prior that she was not together with him, she didn't want to be bothered, that in his mind should have clicked, I have to move on. But emotionally fragile, or these men have become way too sensitive where they just cannot let go, or they cannot take no or rejection. That is just a problem. The enemy had that off thought process of entitlement. He was sent out of the Shamayim. He could not take rejection. So what did he do? He became jealous of other people who still have a chance, right? We know that Sheol, or y'all may call it hell, it was not intended for us, basically, y'all's children. It was not intended for us. But due to the fact that Yah is a king who runs a kingdom. He is the king of kings. He runs a kingdom. When a king puts out a decree in a kingdom, that is what it is. That's why it say his word never returns void. He's not gonna, his word is gonna stand, baby. That's what the Torah say. His word is gonna stand. So what does he do? Okay, I made this for the fallen ones, the evil spirits, but I'm gonna also send you, boom, I'm gonna also send you a way out, because he makes a way out of no way. What was our way? The only way to him was Yehoshua HaMashiach. So this ties into this trouble situation, because the young man that the lady was dealing with, we see that spirit of narcissism, that if I can't have you, no one will, right? Like, the thought of her, even though it was reckless that she invited, she had to know that this man was bugged out, because of course a lot of the times we see these red flags from these guys. Like, you ladies, if you guys are like out and about, how many times have we seen like a guy tries to talk to you and you don't respond to the cat calls, and they bust out, you ugly anyway, you whoop, whoop, whoop. All of that stuff, they just get into it. I have had, y'all, situations where you know, just being online, like a influencer online, where people are getting to know you before you are getting to know them. And that's very, you know, sometimes very, very I would say it's a security factor, I would say, being online, because these people sometimes, especially men, they get in their head, like, especially with social media, like especially Instagram, it's like a candy store. Like, they're just looking at different women that they want. But here's the narcissistic part about it. They think that they're entitled to your time, entitled to talking to you just because they find you attractive. And this is totally, like I said, the Torah basically put in place that you had to prove yourself worthy before you even got a woman. Like, a woman was like a gift from the Most High Yah to you. And you could not just go and get any type of woman. You had to have the fortitude. You had to be of status to have certain women. And they do not want to work to get certain stuff. It's kind of like, this is why I say this, it's infantile. It's infantilism, because the coddlement of children, where you, oh, it's okay, you could stay, you know, at a low level. You could not get yourself together, and you should be able to have or access to this, especially in a westernized thing where you have convenience at the snap of your finger. You understand? So these men have the microwave personality, kind of like, you should be able to have this type of car and this, that, and the third, when they don't understand the value of hard work to get certain stuff. They just feel like because they exist, they should have access, right? So who is she to say she doesn't want to be involved with my, you know, and I'm using the example of the trouble situation of the bugged out, kind of emotionally sensitive, toxic behavior that is me. Who is she to tell me that? And who is she to move on with another man? Feeling entitled like a woman is like a possession. It's crazy. And this is why I tell y'all, I don't support any manosphere or woman spirit type of content, because I'm about supporting my brothers and sisters that's following Torah, right? And I just briefly, let me address the comment where somebody was talking about me being religious. I am not religious. Being an Israelite is my ethnicity and my culture. And shout out to brother JB Zion, who suggested the books for us to read, for the family to read. This is a Harvard book, right? This is from Harvard University, because a lot of people think that the Torah or the Bible is a myth. The Bible is a history book with if you are a so-called BLK person, African American, Native American, or any of those things that I named, you've been calling yourself BLK all your life. And that's not an ethnicity, that's not a race of people. That is a status, okay? Even though don't get confused because they put it on the title of the book, but this is getting into the history of the Torah. This is getting into the Bible is nothing more than a history book for you to get into. I'm not going to say nothing because I don't want to use the word nothing, But the Bible is a history book. So when you hear me talking about Torah, I am getting back to the culture aspect. I talk about Africa, Ephrati, from the tribe of Ephraim, double fruit, the birthright tribe. Why do we have to discuss the birthright tribe? Because a lot of these men, getting back to what I'm talking about, we'll use the Torah for an example. The jealousy and the immaturity of my grandfather Joseph's brothers caused them to sell him into slavery, right? If you are a descendant of slavery, chances are Joseph may be your grandfather. Ephrati, the tribe of Ephraim, northern kingdom, because Africa is northern kingdom, the promised land, okay? And the scripture clearly tells us that Judah, who everybody thinks that especially a lot of Israelites, they think that they're Judah just because it says that the lion of the tribe of Judah, but they don't realize that Bethlehem, and Brother JB Zion has a good teaching about this. Bethlehem was the city that our foremother Rachel was buried in. So what happened is they took claim of that city. Ephrati, the tribe of Ephraim, Joseph took claim of that city inside of Judah. So the line of kings comes from that tribe, Ephrati. That city that they took claim from was in Judah. So he would come out of Bethlehem, Ephrati, all of that stuff. Okay, that's just a mini lesson. The reason why I have to talk about the birthright is because the young men today, they don't learn how to deal with rejection. Like, think about this. The Most High, when Ishmael was born, yeah, you're gonna have a line of kings, but your brother Isaac is gonna get the birthright. Like, you have to have, like, rejection, and I'm gonna state this. You have to look at rejection like that's not necessarily a bad thing. And these people over here in Western civilization, they look at that and they throw infant-like tantrums, toddler-like tantrums, childish behavior. They cannot fathom that somebody would reject them. It's not healthy. That's why when I used to be a former educator of children, we were taught not to give every child a trophy for participation, because it's not healthy for them. There is going to be a winner, and there's going to be somebody that does not win. Like even in games, children have to learn this, because let's use this for an example. Somebody's going to be a king, and somebody is going to be a policeman or a lawyer, or everybody is not going to be the same thing. Somebody is going to have the birthright. You don't need to take that as rejection. That woman that you see on Instagram, that woman may be assigned to be somebody else's wife. You should not ever feel entitled to a woman just because you see that woman. Or if that relationship didn't work, maybe you were not really intended to be with that woman in the first place, and that's not your destiny spouse or your destiny wife or husband. You have got to learn how to have healthy mental thought processes, and we learn how to do that through Torah. And a lot of people may say, oh, well, I don't want to. The law applies whether you believe it or not, okay? What happened in that book, the prophecies are being fulfilled, whether you want to subscribe to it or not. Your life being a mess or being a blessing. Deuteronomy 28, y'all better get into it. Your life is a testimony of who you serve. You gonna serve somebody, whether you serve Ahaya Shahaya, which is the Most High Yah, or in y'all may call him God or the Most High God, okay? And y'all call his son Jesus Christ, but we know his name is, some of y'all call him Yahawashi, Yahushua HaMashiach, the Anointed One, our salvation, the one that corrected, amended. It was the original decree that if you participate in sin and evil wickedness and get in evil spirit, let's say, take over that person, guess what? You gotta go to Sheol. But the Most High Yah amended that. I'm gonna send out another decree that if you believe first of all, you believe and trust in the Son, King Yehoshua. You submit yourself to him, and you follow the Most High Yah's laws, statutes, and commandments. That is the only way that you are going to see the kingdom of the Shamayim. You're gonna ascend to heaven. Y'all call the Shamayim heaven. So that law is very clear, because he didn't make Sheol, like I said, hell for us, people that have a soul. Again, the enemy dealt with rejection in a poor way, right? He was rebuked, rejected. The Most High Yah said, oh no, I'm not dealing with that, you bugging. So he already had a permanent decree on himself, so he started to hate on the children, the entities, us being human with souls. He started to hate on that. Where have we seen that? Joseph in the birthright. So these men, this is a whole characteristic that some of these men, like I told you, they are dealing with. They cannot take rejection. Rejection is a healthy part of the mental process. It fortifies you. It builds you up strong. You feel what I'm saying? It makes you a better person, because what you learn is that may not be for me, but there's a situation. It's a man out there for me. It's a woman out there for me. What you see is bitterness. Like, if you look at this, like, that's why I said I'll never support people that do the man of spirit type of content, or the woman spirit type of content, because check this out. You taking the spirit of bitterness from rejection, and you a broken person getting on the internet spewing those broken thoughts. So you're teaching people to dwell in unforgiveness and rejection instead of using rejection to build themselves stronger. To realize, you know what? That pretty girl may not have been for me, but I'm going to get me a pretty girl, because I'm going to work. I'm going to work on myself. I'm going to have the Most High get so much anointing and glow on me that it's going to be those type of people that I want, because he gives you, it ain't really, when he say he gives you the desires of your heart, it's not what you want. It's he gives you what is good for you. He's a father. He's going to give you what's best for you. You can have a thought process of what you should have, but the Most High Yah, this is why rejection is a beautiful process. It's some other spiritual things where it's like the enemy could try to put a mark of rejection on you for negative purposes, but the Most High Yah could get you to go through different things so that you build yourself. These men, they stay in a boy type of state. You know, our grandfathers back in them civil rights days, they could not stand nobody calling them no boy. Y'all just freely call yourselves little, young, boy. All of that. They just freely do it. Freely do it. I'm telling you, when you don't know who you are, this is how you could be a sucker for stuff. Get into this. Y'all should start reading some books, because all this watching these rap music videos and stuff ain't got y'all nowhere. Y'all sit around talking about the Torah in a bugged out way, not realizing the Chinese man got a culture. The man in Scotland got a culture. All these other people got a culture, but you sitting there calling yourself a status, which is black means slavery. I'm telling y'all, I know who I am, honey. Yaya Rahiel of the tribe of Ephraim from Nigeria, Yoruba, honey. Of King Jeroboam, King Jeconiah, all of King David, King Solomon, all of those are my forefathers, okay? And I got some foremothers too, starting with Rachel. Now, you got to know who you are, because if you know who you are, you don't fall, I would say, Vic, to calling yourself something like trouble. The Most High Yah said you are above only and not beneath. You calling yourself something that's is a curse. So let's get into this situation that happened with the young lady at Walgreens, y'all, because I'm telling y'all, I'm using this. Okay, so I'm using this to discuss with y'all the state of these men, because it's not a healthy state. Like, literally, y'all, like I said, being an influencer, I've seen this sort of thing where men do not take rejection well. Like, literally, I'll be watching different content creators that don't happen to be males or whatever, and I'll like something that they say. I'm like, okay, I want to follow their podcast. I want to follow this. Or, I want to see more of what they're talking about. Their content is cool. You follow them, next thing you know, they done formulated in their mind that you and them gonna be together, or you should be trying to talk to them. And it's like, sir, did I give you any indication that I was trying to talk to you? Or just because you out, ladies, I know that you've experienced this. You out and about, and a dude just start going wild because you're not answering those cat calls. Like, they feel like because they are them, they are, that's a narcissistic mindset, a childlike, egocentric mindset, where they throw a tantrum because you don't want to talk to them. And it might not be that it's like, this is what Dr. Peterson was saying on the roommates. That's why I did that video. The manosphere is full of lies. If you work on yourself, you will attract the woman that gravitates toward you. That's supposed to be for you. Why are you trying to? And this is what I said. This is why in Western civilization, where they teach the conveniency and, you know, everybody get a trophy. No, everybody is not going to get the birthright. Everybody don't have the birthright. Everybody is not, everybody, like prime example, Moses had to accept that he wasn't going to be the one to bring them into the promised land. You get what I'm saying? Like, you have to accept that certain missions ain't your missions. Certain men may not be for you, ladies. Certain women may not be for you, fellas. You understand me? Like, let's talk about this Walgreens situation. Okay, so let's talk about this. So, jealous Walgreens worker, I don't know why this playing. This is on Fox Tampa Bay, is accused of taking out a 17, youth co-worker who rejected his advances. This is the state of men right now in Western world. Highly sensitive, highly just in their bag. They want to compete with women, all kind of stuff. And that is the spirit of the narcissistic Lucifer, the first Jezebel, because that's a masculine control spirit. They sit on this internet talking about how they don't like women with degrees. They sit on this internet wanting to control and feel entitled to women and all kind of stuff. I'm telling you. And then when they have these negative, broken experiences because they don't want to grow up and ascend into manhood, ascend into mature thoughts, they do crazy stuff like this, right? So this was written by Danielle Wallace, and it was published 20 hours ago. Joshua, that's interesting. He got an Israelite name, but y'all may have seen the man. Let me show y'all. That's what he looked like. Joshua Johnson, 28. So he's 28 years old. He's supposed to be a grown man in thought, but you somewhere trying to spit game to a youth. Y'all shouldn't even be on the same wavelength. Like, picture me trying to talk to the youth. Where? Like, you don't even have the same thought process as little ones, okay? So it says right here that he has been, they don't put some charges on him with in the first degree, y'all. And this is what the Colorado Springs La Policia is saying. Y'all know how we talk on here, y'all. Anyway, talk to me. So basically, what they're alleging is that he took out the girl that is a youth, the 17 youth co-worker in a break room of a Colorado store location after the girl reported to managers that he was making, unwanted plays for her. Like, it's like, you gotta learn when somebody say, yo, I'm not on that type of time. That's it. A healthy mind. That's why a lot of these counseling, they really need to be offering a lot of counseling to a lot of these people, because they deal with offness. It's a false sense of entitlement, a false sense that a person just should see you and be like, I want you. No, that's not how that works. Like, you don't know what her reasoning is. Like, everybody is not looking for romantical things at that time. Some people is working on self. And for you to just think that you should be the one. And it says, the young lady's name is Riley. And basically it says months before he supposedly took her out, had reported to the store manager that the dude, Joshua Johnson, made her feel uncomfortable. And he had made, like moves toward her. And it says that she requested a work schedule to avoid him, but she later requested additional hours. So it's just a shame. The young lady is trying to work, trying to get her bag up, and you can't even work without somebody in the corner lurking, trying to get with you. I seen another thing I was watching. It was a young lady. She was set to and this is why young ladies on this internet, y'all got to be careful, because like I said, these people, even men, young men too, y'all got to be careful, because people will set in their mind, they'll covet. It's a spirit of witchcraft. They'll covet you, and it's a false sense of entitlement. Like they'll look at your life, they'll want to be who you are, or they'll feel entitled to you, or you sitting there with your husband or your wife, and they feel like they should be in that spot and not your husband and wife. I mean, y'all think witchcraft is a game. It's real. That Jezebel spirit is real. That demonic spirit. Y'all sitting there looking, thinking it's a woman, but it could jump man or woman. And the first one was the enemy. So let's keep it above. And it says another co-worker stated that Joshua appeared to be acting jealous. That Jezebel spirit is a spirit of jealousy too. When the girl Riley's boyfriend began working at the same Walgreens store. So in his mind, he already had a situation with rejection. And that boyfriend coming threw him over the edge. A normal person would be like, yo, that's another man's territory. Let me fall back. I'm going to just have to find somebody that's single and somebody that's... Why would you want somebody anyway that belongs to somebody else? You know why? That Jezebel, jealous, control spirit that want to oppress and want something that's entitled to somebody that is taken that belongs to somebody else anyway. Why would you want that? Because it's witchcraft. It's witchcraft. So it says, according to the affidavit, the guy Joshua on Saturday, he supposedly stacked boxes in the break room of the store to obstruct the view of so he plotted this. It was like an obsession. This is people that are, I'm telling you, struggling to deal with rejection. With the situation with the Mercedes Moore situation was a prime example of this too. The dude just could not move forward, that the lady was not romantically interested. So he did that to obstruct the view of the cameras. And it says a customer told La Policia she heard a female voice screaming, and the sound of what she believed to be stall slamming. And so the manager, he called La Policia, and he found her in the break room, and he found her, unfortunately. And he said it appeared to be a restroom closed sign that was placed in the area to keep people out of the break room. Something that was, they said, unusual. So pretty much this is what they believe happened. So he was found with scratches and stuff on his face, and it says that let me see, they looking into the matter further. But I'm talking about these situations to show y'all the commonality of what is going on. So you see the rapper Trouble. He's a guy that has named himself Trouble, the infantile state of that. Not realizing the severity of you named yourself in the way in which you should go, right? Or in the way that you want something to go. And then there's the guy who is struggling with rejection, who takes Trouble out because he can't take the rejection of the young lady who says she no longer wanted to be with him. Then we have this same situation here where the guy Joshua could not take that the young lady Riley did not want to be with him, and she already had a boyfriend. the state of westernized men is very emotionally fragile, and they are definitely dealing with that spirit of the Jezebel. And like I said, brothers, I'm not talking to all of y'all, because if you righteous, you're not going to fall in that by default, because you realize what is going on. You're hip to what's going on. You realize that serpent spirit is jealous of woman and the role that woman has. And we have seen that these men are trying to take out women by the droves. We could look at the things like, what is going on? Why is it that you are having a hard time emotionally accepting, or even like I said, this is why I said I don't support that type of gender going back and forth type of thing in any of the spheres. That you're letting that spirit of bitterness sit in your heart, and instead of you getting healing and counseling and therapy, you sit and you spew it out online, because you are in an infantile state. A toddler, or a child having a tantrum because you feel entitled to things. You sit and you let the enemy manipulate, dominate, oppress you. You feel what I'm saying? With these childish behavior thoughts and witchcraft. And I'm not speaking to everybody, but I'm saying the guys who are dealing with the spirit of rejection, and a healthy man deals with rejection like, okay, that wasn't for me, but what is mine, what the Most High Yah has for me is for me. I'm going to support the work of the Most High, and I'm going to stay faithful, and I'm going to stay loyal. And I know that whatever blessing that he has that was imparted to me, I'm going to receive. That ain't for me over there. No, not these men. They want to compete. They jealous. It's the Jezebel spirit. Yeah, y'all wanted to know what the Jezebel spirit is. The spirit of narcissism. He felt entitled to that young lady Riley. The guy that had the situation with the girl that was with trouble, he felt entitled to that young lady. Who was she to have another man over? Even if she said it's over, it ain't over, so I say it's over, ain't nobody gonna have you. That mindset, the spirit of narcissism, the spirit of Jezebel, an emotional, fragile, like literally, y'all, when I hear some of this stuff in the manosphere and some of this stuff in the women's sphere, they talking about relationships they had back when they was teenagers. A girl in middle school ain't want me and said I look like this. And you be thinking to yourself, son, you didn't move past that? You didn't go get no therapy? If women feel like you're not attractive, you ain't go hit the gym or get your bag up. Get your relationship with the Most High Yah up, so he could throw some anointing on you, so that you got a little glory looking on you, to where a woman is like, oh. I'm telling y'all. This is the state of men. I'm telling you, I had to explain all of this, y'all, because I wanted y'all to get what I'm saying to y'all. That's what's going on right now. And shout out to all of the righteous brothers that are putting out, the truth about, being an Israelite. And I had to correct people that are saying it's a religion. It's not a religion. It's our culture. Okay. We are Afro-Asiatic people from Northeast Africa, West Asia. The Torah really, the stuff in the Torah really is a real history book. It really happened. Things like our Torah, our scrolls were stolen. And hence, that's why you have the actual religions like Christianity, Catholicism, and those other religions. They're using our scrolls, because when we decided, basically, the same stuff that's happening now, the Most High Yah, the reason why we even went into slavery is because we wanted to participate in those cultures, those other nations and their cultures, and not our own customs. We didn't keep our customs in the Torah, and so he took his hand off of us and said, you know what, you want to be like them, and I told you y'all was set apart, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you go into slavery. And then you gonna realize, like the prodigal son, you gonna realize that you should have took your birthright seriously. You should have took that I left you as an example here for the other nations and not been participating in their cultures. Hence why you could see the people bleaching. Hence why you could see the young ladies, this the type of, they got your last, come outside on the internet, on that ratchet stuff. Hence why you could see the value in all of this stupidity stuff, like when it comes to rap, and you see them into the little this and young boy this. Your grandfathers back in the day couldn't stand that. Boy was thought to be disrespectful when they was addressed by those other type of nations. Boy, you see the contempt in that. So because we're so pressed with following other people's customs and you don't know your own, this is how you get swindled. I had to address that. Go and learn your history for real. It's not a religion. It's culture. It's our roots. It's our culture. You sitting there calling yourself African American. No, you are African. And when I say African, I'm not talking about Hamitic. I'm talking about you are Ifrati, because we went into the land and we mixed with them anyway. You are Ifrati. Okay? Find out what tribe that you come from. Are you from Benin, Togo? Benin Ephraim? Okay? Are you from Ghana? Are you from Kenya? Are you from Ethiopia? Where are you from, bro? And even if you gonna say, oh, well, we indigenous American over here, our people was already over here too. How you think they knew they spoke Hebrew? How you think they knew? How you think they got Christopher Columbus? Why Christopher Columbus went and got a Moor that spoke Hebrew to locate the people? They knew where we was at the whole time. So, you know, we all want to try to separate and divide ourselves, like, oh, I'm American, or oh, I'm African. No, we all come together. We are the tribes that are scattered. Okay, if you are Afro-Asiatic descent, the chances are that you fall under the 12 tribes. Okay, somebody was your granddaddy in one of the 12 tribes. So get back to your history so you could keep your own customs. You could know who you are. Because if you know who you are, then somebody can't swindle you out of your birthright. You sitting there calling yourself black and they like, what is that? The whole world? No, that's not a concept. But anyway, I'll see you guys soon on the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Hey honeys, thank you for watching my video. And if you haven't, definitely make sure you check out my Teespring, KingBritneyChanel Couture, where you can find my latest merch. I upload a lot of new designs frequently, so definitely make sure you check it out. We have mugs, we have wall tapestries, canvas art, pillows, fleece blankets, apparel, and so much more. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see y'all on my next video.